Keep Driving is short, unique, and repetitive, but in a good way. It's a game about the quintessential summer road trip. It's about the freedom of a set of wheels and carefree youth before the responsibilities of adulthood kick in. It's a Kerouac-inspired call to the open road, a celebration of spontaneous detours and serendipitous outcomes. Our protagonist sets off with a tank of gas, the bare minimum of planning, and some vague, hand-wavy plans about attending a faraway music festival. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just end up driving around all summer and see where the road takes them. Before you depart, you get to choose a few minor details about your character that change your initial loadout and affect some in-game stats. But by far the biggest decision is which car you'll choose, as each has significantly different qualities that will substantially affect your playthrough. There are 3 in total, but in the beginning you only get to choose the sedan. Mechanically, this is a really interesting game. I'm not going to suggest that the 2-man development team at YCJY Games has radically invented a whole new video game genre, but they've definitely creatively mashed several of them together, and what's here is considerably fresher and more imbued with novelty than anything I've played in recent memory. The core mechanic revolves around various meters: gas, fatigue, car durability, and cash. While you meander over the many miles, your goal is to make sure none of these meters ever drops to 0, or you'll face consequences. However, the game is fairly lenient, so reaching a game over state is something you'll probably have to work at achieving. And as you'll find out, starting over is kind of the point. The core experience is this pretty weird minigame that plays out something like a strategic card game. As you make your way around, the road randomly throws up various obstacles all along your journey. For example, a flock of sheep, potholes, or vague lane markings. At the beginning of each round, these roadblocks will threaten one of your essential stats, and it's your task to remove those threats one by one until the obstacle is averted. To do this, you play various cards that you unlock as you level up. It works well for the most part, although it is so central to the game, and played so frequently, that your enjoyment of Keep Driving will depend almost entirely on how well you vibe with this minigame. The key criticism is how repetitive it is, but I thought that it worked for the most part because it felt casual and forgiving enough that it fit in well with the overall pace of the game. Between bouts of minigame, you'll arrive at different stops where the game saves. You earn XP, and depending on the size of the town or city, you can restock, buy upgrades, repair your car, find jobs, or rest. The map is large enough, and spending the time to explore the highways and backroads is a big part of the game's appeal. Another little game within the game is the Tetris-like arrangement of items in your trunk. Each car has different trunk space configurations, and juggling your gear, various pieces of road treasure, and even passengers is an exercise in sacrificial strategic decision-making that forces you to think. But wait, there's more! There's a sort of memory minigame where you explore a crudely rendered 3D area, picking up pieces of loot and attempting to bring them back to the start of the maze. It wasn't my favourite, but hey, they can't all be winners. On top of all this, there's various decisions that push and pull you in different directions. Decisions that range from the simple and apparently mundane, all the way to weighty and consequential choices that have the ability to completely alter the trajectory of your playthrough. Picking up a hitchhiker, or leaving them by the roadside, can radically change your path and ending. And I loved how the game was apparently so easy with players changing course, as this perfectly captured the spirit of spontaneity inherent in a loosely planned road trip. In many different ways, Keep Driving oozes nostalgia for a bygone era, a time of trust and innocence where picking up random strangers from the side of the road was safe, and could lead to a surprisingly interesting time. Certainly by the time I was old enough to drive, I was warned that picking up hitchhikers meant I might end up with my body parts spread across several different states. The hitchhikers add a welcome companionship to the trip, chiming in randomly with quips and observations to relieve the monotony. Each comes with a little backstory that gets gradually filled in as the miles fall away, on top of which they also give you both bonuses and penalties to the road obstacle minigame, and this changes things up in an interesting way. And it's not all sunshine and unicorns either. There's drugs, booze, guns, escaped convicts, but the overall tone remains lighthearted, upbeat and optimistic, rather than veering into anything too dark. It's all rendered in a deliciously rich, pixelated art style, which does a great job of suffusing a hazy kind of beautiful retro glow over everything. I love the different weather effects, the night and day cycle, and the variety of background environments spanning from the desert to the mountains. This is a beautiful looking game, and congrats to artist Josef Martinovsky for realizing this. You can just tell that this is an indie game with a whole lot of love and heart. There's so much attention to detail, from the juicy pops of the bouncy UI to the thoughtful design touches like the scrapbook that keeps track of your memories. They really took their time to polish it, and it shows. And it wouldn't be a road trip without killer music, that pitch-perfect background soundtrack to a summer on wheels. In this respect, Keep Driving is surprisingly great, featuring an extensive playlist of indie, punk, and alternative tunes from artists like West Coast, Zimmer Grandioso, Mundane, and a bunch of other artists I'm really happy to have been introduced to. Thanks for nothing, Spotify. One of the core mechanics is the roguelike way in which you repeat the experience. Every time you end the summer run, you get to restart, and you're able to take some of your learning and experience with you in the form of new car unlocks, former car upgrades, new character traits, new starting packages. It's all well designed and ties up neatly as a comfortably short experience that is fun to repeat, at least for a while. Every time the summer was done, I was keen to go back and explore a new little nook that I'd seen in my previous run, or to look for an elusive new hitchhiker, to explore a different story arc to its conclusion. After about 10 to 15 hours of this, the contours of the game's limits started to become well defined enough to me that I felt like I'd explored the majority of it, and I felt like the remaining 10% of content would require a little more effort than I might be willing to spend. Still, this is a fun ride while it lasts, well worth the time. It's not just a unique type of game with novel mechanics. Keep Driving is a slice of time out of time that aims to capture the essence of youth. That fleeting moment of weightlessness at the apex of a jump, just before the gravity of real life brings you back down to earth. I loved it. It made me feel old. It brought back memories. And made me both fondly recollect and then miss my own time spent doing this kind of dumb, wonderful shit. And when was the last time a game did that to you?